Welcome to the Year 2 Reading and Writing Workshop. The aims of this workshop is to explain the expected level in reading and writing, as well as any tests that they will undergo at the end of Year 2, and how best you can go about supporting them at home.
This is what we will be covering in our workshop today. We will have a look at how we teach reading and writing in Year 2, and also how you can help at home with these topics.
This is an extract from the National Curriculum, and it details exactly what reading at the expected level looks like by the end of Year 2. What we will do throughout this workshop is break down how we can achieve each of the key points which are written in red.
Phonics is an integral part to both reading and writing. It is the relationship between the written forms, known as the graphemes, and the sounds they make, known as the phonemes. As you will see, the Year 2 children will need to retake the phonics screener that they missed in Year 1. This will happen in December, and then again in June if they do not reach the pass mark threshold. The screener consists of 40 words. Some are real words and others have been made up. This is to test how well the children are applying their phonics. All throughout EYFS and Key Stage 1, the children have plenty of opportunity to practice sounding out and blending the words as accurately as possible.
A key way to improve your child's reading is to expose them to a wide range of texts. I know we normally reach for a storybook, but it would be great if we also increase their exposure to non-fiction texts where there is more technical language and trickier words, while it also exposes them to new information and knowledge. And that's not to forget poetry as well, and it's a great way to develop their rhythm and their rhyme as well.
When reading at home, there are 5 easy steps that both parents and children can follow in order to develop both their word reading skills and their love for reading. Children will keep the book all week, and for the first time of reading, it's called a pre-read. Very little reading actually happens during the pre-read, and it's lots of discussion and exploration of the book. The main aims of the independent read and the guided read are to ensure that children are reading loudly and clearly. Give them time to decode using phonics or using the pictures to help them. Make sure they follow the words on the page with their magic finger to help with their fluency. Finally, children should be able to answer a range of both simple and complex questions about what they have just read. By the end of this process, the children should have read the book at least 3 times before changing for the next one. Alongside their colour-bound book, some children may receive a decodable phonics book. These will correlate with the phases that the children are learning in their phonics lessons, and it is a great way for them to practice their blending.
Every morning in Year 2, we spend our time during our phonics lessons decoding and blending words. On Wednesday, our focus is slightly different, where we look at tricky words. These are words where phonics doesn't work. We also have our whole class reading sessions, which are oracy rich, and we also spend our time there practicing our comprehension skills known as Derek. They are decoding, explaining, retrieving, interpreting, and author's choice. Some children will spend some one-to-one time reading with an adult, as well as having blending and reading boosters. We really do try and promote reading for pleasure, where the teacher will read a book to the children. Just to recap, this is what reading at an expected level at the end of Year 2 looks like. What we're showing here as well is how you can help your child to achieve that level. So listen to your child read daily, please. Read to your child as well, focusing on a range of texts, meaning your fiction, your non-fiction, and poetry as well. Practice regular and irregular words. This means decodable words as well as those tricky words. Also, talk to your child about the text. This will help to increase not only their comprehension skills but their vocabulary as well. We are now going to move over to writing and have a look at what the expected level for Year 2 looks like. One key area of the expected level is spelling, and this will be explained to you more in the next slide. When we look at our writing, we need to try and make sure that the children are able to write with fluency and coherence. And finally, that they also use the correct letter formation. So this is why we focus so much on handwriting in order for them to achieve that level.
Spelling becomes more of a focus in Year 2. This is because children should be able to spell many words accurately using their phonics, but also use their letter names to help them spell words that phonics does not work for. We call these tricky words. As children progress through the different phases of phonics, they will learn all about the alternate graphemes for the same phonemes. This means the different ways of writing the same sound. This will include the digraphs of 2 letters, 1 sound, as well as the single letter sounds. We will encourage children to think very carefully about where the sound is in the word and remember to use their rules for writing.
Every time we do a piece of writing, we follow our special rules for writing, which we call the Give Me 5. Your child should be able to recite these from heart. Step number 1 is think of your sentence. Then say it out loud. Does it make sense? If not, they need to go back and rethink of their sentence. Then they will count how many words on the sentence before they start writing them down. When they write them, they need to remember to start with a capital letter, have finger spaces, as well as use their phonics, and then finish their sentence with either a full stop, exclamation mark, or even a question mark. Lastly, to make sure that it makes sense, they need to reread it carefully and make sure they have included all the words that they counted. We constantly use our letter rhymes to consolidate the correct formation of lowercase cursive letters. We also constantly reinforce that when writing lowercase letters, we start on the line every time and with an up we go.
To complement our audience and purpose ethos, children will develop a strong awareness of their own composition. This means they will know how to write for different purposes and for different audiences. With our writing cycle linked to our topic, homework is a great way for children to be able to apply all of these skills. What does writing at the expected level look like for Year 2? We should see children using their knowledge of phonics, letter patterns and rules to help with their spelling. They should also be able to edit and improve their own work, including making different word choices. We should see a strong and consistent cursive handwriting style throughout, making sure the children are taking pride in all of their work.
At the end of the previous academic year of 2019 to 2020, the Year 2 children were due to take the last set of Key Stage 1 SATs. However, this did not take place due to the lockdown. It is unclear at this stage whether that will then be moved to this year. Then, if that is the case, this information will then become relevant. Here are some helpful resources and websites that you can use to further support your child at home, as well as the entire Key Stage 1 interim framework, which is accessible by the government link listed. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our Year 2 literacy workshop.